Hey everyone, my name is Herman Mahireza, a GSOC student 2023 at OpenMRS. This is my midterm evaluation. I'm working on a project called Adding Support for FHIR Patch Operations. OpenMRS is using the FHIR module more and more in place of the REST web services. However, the FHIR API is quite verbose, which makes supporting FHIR patch operations more sensible at this particular time, since we would love to support partial updates to the FHIR resources without needing to send the entire resource from the client to the server. My mentors are Ian and Albert. What is a FHIR? What is a patch request? One of the common challenges that web developers face when working with APIs is how to update resources on a server. This basically they are faced with two methods that they have to work with. There is the patch method and the put method. The put method is what we refer to as update, and patch is basically patching. So the difference is with the patch request, you only send the field that you would love to update. You do not need to send the entire JSON document just to update, for example, a name, which is the downside of the put method. During the community bonding period, we set out to implement the JSON patch, the JSON merge patch, and the XML patch of the OpenMRS FHIR resources. However, we had initially discussed to support JSON merge patch. However, we faced the challenge with the fact that it cannot patch a JSON document that is not an object. For example, arrays cannot be patched using the JSON merge patch. So we had to go back and implement the JSON patch as well. The OpenMRS FHIR resources we have covered so far. We have the patient, the person, the practitioner, the condition, the medication request, diagnostic report, medication dispense, encounter, allergy intolerance, and task resources. What is so far pending? The observation resource has not yet been worked upon. This because it is translating the OBS object that is immutable in OpenMRS, so it needed a little bit of care while working with it. That's why we pushed it to handle it in the second part of the project, the summer. Then the service request. The service request is partially translated. Then group resource, not fully implemented, and immunization resource, which is like the observation resource. An important to note is patch should be used when partial updates are desired and performance, concurrency or flexibility is a concern. On the other hand, you can use the put in case the entire resource is needed or is to be replaced. And contributions, these are the pull requests that we have so far merged in the OpenMRS FHIR 2 module that cater for XML patching. These other ones are the same that cater for JSON patching and JSON merge patching. Now we will head into examples. I've used Postman. and XML patch. For JSON patch, we are going to do it on a patient resource. As you can see, the JSON merge patch. This is the JSON here that this is the only field that we would love to update, the birth date, and there is 1996. We could do that to, for example, 2007. As you can see, the bit with patch operations is I can only send the attribute or the field that I want to update. Things to take note here. You have to take note of the content type. The meme value should be application/merge patch -patch plus JSON. If you put in a wrong one, for example here, if I could do, this would be a JSON patch. If I could do that, of course, that would break it. That should be able to break it, as you can see. Now, when we put in the correct one, which is merge, I believe, and then we cross check here, and this is the value that we want to change. Now when we send a request, this is a patch request that we are sending. Thankfully, the request is successful. The patient has been patched. And when you come to the birth date, we realize the value has been changed to 2007. Then I'll be taking you through the JSON patch. We have discussed the JSON merge patch and realized that JSON merge patch is quite similar to the JSON. Now when I will use this same patient resource, this patient here, this patient Herman, whose birth date we changed in the JSON merge patch. Now, for example, here you see the gender is male. So this is the patient ID. What I do here first is come to the content type and ensure that it befits the JSON patch mean value, which is JSON -patch plus JSON. Now here what I do is since this is also JSON, but a little bit a different one. OP stands for operation, and for operations we have the add operation. You're adding a field that is not existent in the original JSON document. We have the replace. Replace is replacing the value of an already existing field. For example, here we are going to replace. Then you have to give the path. The path, for example, in here, this JSON document, the path we want to no, here. Sorry. For example, here we want to update the gender, so the path could be the normal of doing path. It is /gender. Then you have to give the value. Since the other one was male, we could say female. And send in our request. Fingers crossed. The request is successful. Now we have to check whether the gender has been patched, which is successful. the gender has been patched to female. Now we go and look into the XML patching. The XML patching, we patch the same resource. Since we have changed it to female, I could change it back to male, or I could do something different. I could change the birth date. Now we used a tool that was developed by Dinalt. This is an XML document. As you can see, we start with a diff, then we must specify the namespaces. Our namespaces, they are h17.org FHIR. Then this is the operation, and now this is the selector. We have to give the path. The FHIR, we are looking into the patient resource. Then we are updating here the birth date, and the value for the birth date we could change that to 1996. We have to check the name value. Name value should be XML minus patch plus XML. Then we send in that request. Thank God, it has been changed. It has been successful. The birth date has been changed to 1996. And in the previous JSON patch, we had changed it to female. So that is it with patching. Those are the examples. These all can be carried out on the resources that I mentioned above. Most of them have been covered except for 4 of them.